We are awakening together. This is our weekly gathering we hold online. For more information, visit our website, awakening-together.org. We'd love to see you there.
Wow. Thanks, Marisol. I want to welcome everybody to the Sunday gathering here. I am on computer Wi-Fi here from Naples, Florida, and this is the time that we're going to greet each other in the chat to start our fellowship. And while Marisol, you can play our opening song of I Am Awakening. That song never grows old. Our statement of purpose: we are an assembly of equals here, joined in a common purpose, awakening to one true self, with an appearance of many faiths, many cultures, and many symbols. We seek to discern one truth and to rest in its embrace. You know, my core value today is core value number 3, and what a ride during retrograde, but making decisions and titles and purpose and everything. So core value 3, we accept the one true self, which is one presence or being, non-dual, without beginning or end, and absolutely changeless. We live this value by practicing letting go of the belief in the individual self as who we are. And that's a strong practice. I think we can go right into the announcement. Thanks, everyone. What great opportunities we have here. When I was taking the MPP class with Meg and Jacqueline and a few others, that whole, what we were introduced to, that going beyond the writings and going beyond even the facilitator guide and going beyond just finding our own spot, our own space, and going back and forth with wisdom, and diving deeper and deeper and finding the light of each other, and then finding the union of the group's light, spectacular. I mean, it is a highlight. It is a highlight to you shouldn't deny yourself of this beauty. Anyway, what is next on this opening chant, my opening song from Roberta Flack, Just Like a Woman. Wow. Well, thank you, Roberta. That was a trip down memory lane for me of the journey, my journey, and how my feminine side was being cultivated, and looking for balance in my body and in my being, and and with life's demands as a young man, and all that, and the drug addictions and my interpretations of fear and the world and safety and all that, how to keep myself safe, and I had to stuff that away, that feminine side that came from my innocence, that came from my nourishing, and it was not until I got into recovery at 43 that I was able to open up and access it, but not for a while. Wasn't for a while. But it was important for me to find that balance, because it was a big part of where I am now. And know and being able to play in both my masculine and my feminine. Anyway, it's time for prayer. Okay. Father, 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 what are we making today? I came here empty. I came here with contents of memory, they're thinning. The person is thinning away with this memory. But I do hold on to the love, where the words now become simple and few with rich meaning. Help me to not crucify the self that much, that I am understandable, that I can be relatable, that in all invitations, as we learn about sameness and belonging and accessing our deepest truth, we're here today to embark on this platform that you've given us, that we can learn from your thoughts and feelings that you give us, and the words that we will share, the words that we will customize for our ears to get to all the points in our being, to help our personal journey make that shift from person to presence. Thank you. Amen. Okay. Before we get into the reading, I'm going to try to see if I can still share. I will put it up. My homily, it just, it can change from day to day, But this week, on Mondays, I usually I would go to an AA meeting at 7, and then at 7 to 8, and it's online, and then I do a meditation from 8 to 9, and then it's a 20-minute meditation, and we speak about, we have group conscious after that. And, and after that, 2 women came up to me and they asked me, how do you become aware? And at the same time, this other woman grabbed me and she says, well, how do you handle the devil? What about the devil? And, I addressed, I took them one at a time, and but, it's, how do you, it baffled me. So the woman that wanted to know about the devil, how do I handle the devil? And I told her, that's a mind story. That's, for me, that's in my I'm awareness today. I've become aware, and I stand in that space before thought as much as I can. And it's, and at times, between me and you guys here, it doesn't make a good partner when I'm at home with my wife and I'm practicing my awareness, always getting these, so where are you? What are you doing? Are you going to join with me? and It's comical today. But getting back to that, I said, I said to the woman, I said, my reality with a power greater than myself and God is not an idea. It's beyond ideas. And, I have never thought about the devil since I've entered AA, since I've entered the program. It's a mind story. So the other one is I was starstruck because she's on TV and she's very attractive and she's some kind of newscaster, and which I don't know. Everybody tells me, but I don't know. But so she wants to meet once a week to talk about awareness, and I gave her some things to, everybody's lack of being aware is different, and when that person is in front of you and you go to guidance, the words come, and I said, we either have to do this on the phone or Zoom or however you want to do it. So I've got this, this reading was from Nisargadatta, what is it called? I am a dream that you can wake you up. And I took it down and I took it out of the podcast word for word, and then I wrote about it. Then I gave it to Reverend Meg, and she wrote about what I wrote about, and then it came back to me, and now it's coming to you through Joe, and I am going to, Joseph Schmitz, my reader, and I am going to see if I can put this up. Okay. Joe, it's all you.
Excellent. Thank you, Reverend Billy. And yeah, thanks for sharing that too. This is a powerful reading in my experience, and happy to be with you all this morning. Good to see everyone, and really happy to be joining with you from the retreat house in Levita, one of my favorite places in the world. Yeah. And my good friend Peter's over here too. Anyway. I am a dream that can wake you up. The world you see is nothing but a fleeting spectacle, a dazzling display without substance, existing only as long as you choose to engage with it. It has no true cause or purpose, merely serving as a distraction for the unawakened mind. To the self or Atman, the world is simply a colorful play, enjoyed while it lasts, but ultimately forgotten when it ends. The only true reality is the observer, the self, who remains untouched by the illusions and transient dramas of the world. The enlightened one, or Jnani, moves through life without being swayed by the oscillations of joy and sorrow, life and death. They understand that all of these experiences are just a part of the show, real only to those who are bound by them, but ultimately devoid of any lasting substance. In the state of true realization, the Jnani experiences a profound, uncaused bliss, a happiness that is intrinsic, independent of external conditions. Unlike those who seek happiness through transient pleasures and fear suffering, the Jnani knows that that state of being is their own, that their state of being is their own, untouched by the shifting tides of the world. This bliss is closer and more real than even the body, more intimate than the mind itself. The world, in its entirety, arises from nothingness and eventually returns to nothingness. Yet for those who are not awakened, it seems filled with creators, preservers, and destroyers, forces that govern their perception of reality. However, once you step into the state of self-realization, these distinctions dissolve, and you come to see yourself in everything. The world's illusions fade away, revealing the true nature of existence. Though the jnani perceives the world as others do, they do not believe themselves to be a part of it. They see it instead as an incandescent drop in the vast ocean of consciousness, a small ephemeral reflection in the infinite expanses of awareness. As they journey through life, they grow increasingly peaceful, knowing that they are returning home. The burden of the body lessens with each passing day, and the mind becomes serene, free from desire and aversion. Every sensation is met with equanimity and an affectionate detachment, as jnani understands that these experiences are as fleeting as the world itself. The suffering of the body may persist, but it is of no consequence. Whatever state the jnani finds themselves in, they accept it as it is, recognizing it as merely a state of mind. They are neither the body nor the experiencer of the body. They are the pure awareness that underlies all experience. Outer events do not mold their inner state, for at the root of their being is a speck of intense light, pure consciousness. This light naturally radiates and creates images in space and events in time, effortlessly and spontaneously. When the mind becomes active, distinctions arise, and with them, pleasures and pain. But in the stillness of pure awareness, these dualities cease to exist. The liberated one is alone, yet they are all. They are not a being, but the very essence of beingness in all things. Even this description falls short, for they are beyond words and concepts, the ground from which all existence springs. Everyone dies as they live, but the jnani is not afraid of death, for they are not afraid of life. They live a life of true happiness and will die a death free from fear. Misery comes from the illusion of birth, not from death. In reality, the jnani was never born, and so they cannot grow old. What appears to others as a person is merely a projection in their minds. The jnani is not concerned with such illusions. In my world, no one is born and no one dies. Life's journey is just a dream, and the only reality is waking up from it. Recognizing the I am as the ultimate reality is enough. The realization is the seed. This realization is the seed of self-awareness, which, once planted, will inevitably grow into the mighty tree of enlightenment, no matter how long it takes. Thank you.
Thank you, Joseph. That was a great read. You know, that is some of the gifts that we get here. You know, I have a spiritual partner, and we go back and forth with our writings, and that's what these mentoring groups are about. So it's going to be awesome. You know, getting back to that, you know, I wanted to talk about responsibility of sight in this AA meeting that I was at, and where all this came from. I got to keep my eye on the clock here. As I keep forgetting that. I am responsible for what I see. I choose the feelings I experience and decide upon the goal I would achieve. And everything that seems to happen to me, I ask for and received as I have asked. Now that's a little rich for an AA meeting, so I had to simplify it, and I got it down to Eleanor Roosevelt had a quote that she stole from Abraham Lincoln, who probably got it from someone, a slave. And because that was the only way, it's the evolvement of what's true in that richness where the suffering, where the suffering meets God. That richness there, that spirituality is the only thing that makes sense. The let go of self is the only thing. The thinning of self only makes sense. So Eleanor Roosevelt said, no one can make you feel inferior without consent. And then another way you can say that is, no one can hurt me without my permission. So it's difficult in the fact that, when we were taught in an AA room to identify and not compare, but we remain as phenomenal objects. And that's the, Nisargadatta constantly says, you must cease to think and speak as if you are phenomenal objects. We've been taught here to become the subject, to become the Geppetto to Pinocchio, to be, sort of. But to step back to that, to step back before it's right and wrong, to step back into that neutrality, So what we do here is we attempt to do here is to put you in front of a spiritual mirror to show you what you are not, that you are what you are not. And in this process of seeing the false as false, we intuitively begin to remove what you think you are and show you what remains, your true nature. So, you are consciousness. And that spins, you are consciousness itself. And that spins into an animated consciousness. I'm going to create my movie now, which provides you a sentience to sentient beings, meaning that we are conscious awareness, aware of our stimuli of our five senses. We want to feel, that's what we're here. We want to experience. Let's not deny this human experience, but let's look at it from a different place. But without associating or interpreting. Further, you are consciousness only in manifestation. We've had to manifest this consciousness, in the second principle of God. But truly, you are that which is prior to consciousness itself. That is, you are pure awareness. So, I am awareness. I am the awareness before thought. Let's simplify. The phenomenal object. The body cannot perform any action without or only when the not personal consciousness manifests. Manifests by objectifying itself and becomes identified with each object, in which now the concept of the personal I comes into being. This concept is the source of bondage. The objectivizing of the I from the pure noumenal, from the pure subjectivity into the objective me. In AA, we say we got in there when we are our alcoholism, and then we learn to be, I am not my alcoholism. I can see my disease. I can see my self-centeredness. I can see my fear. I am not my fear. I can step back and create that space because we're in the space-making business, you know. So it is the me that the I concept or the ego, which is the imaginary bondage from which liberation is sought. So the seeker, the one that's looking, oh, let's do this differently. Let's do this a little differently. You the self, are already here before the I wants to be free and arises. Before the I that wants to know itself. So that's what we got going on in manifestation. In the Course, it was God wants to know himself through you. God wants you to complete the journey. He wants you to help complete the journey. So, and here in awareness and awakening together, the absolute puts on a costume just for time. Your attention. This state of consciousness in awareness is even before your attention. This state that you are the self, is already here. Before any meaning, before any kind of thought. You watch the world. You watch your attention rise. And now you watch the world. And you also watch the sense of the person spinning away. Like a cloud losing its shape. It's disappearing into the vastness. It's disappearing in space. We're in the space-making business. There's enough space for me to practice my awareness and my wife to be with me. Okay? And ask me, where are you now? And I can, and I can kindly come back as, I am in love. I'm in love right now. I'm in love with where I'm at. You are not the content of memory. It's unbelievable. I am currently created perfectly, and then I come in with my suitcases of yesterday and I open them up. And this is where I begin. No, we don't do that anymore. We recognize what's changeless in the midst of changing. as I'm continuing to grow and heal and in the spiritual journey and the search is what to give up, to empty myself. That's what the search is for. It's to what to give up. So I recognize what's constant, what's this changeless reality that the Course calls it, in an unchanging presence. It's this background that cannot be seen. Wow. That would have been a good title, The Background That Cannot Be Seen. This background that cannot be seen, the screen behind the movie, the screen. We get so involved in the movie that the pictures and the play, and and every morning I hit the play button of life, but not before I have that time. But I do, I hit that and I become like my character. And so does everybody else become my character as I see it. Of all parts of my mind, I'm in the mind game of entertainment. This background cannot be seen before knowledge and before any concept arises. It is your very self that is here. This, as though it's obvious, is still not grasped while there is faith or loyalty to our identity as the person. Such a default switch we have. That the whole journey now becomes, the thinning of the self. Like the clouds. The shift from personhood to presence. My cats don't know what to do with me right now. They just want to keep getting closer. It's incredible, the intimacies that they want to share with me. Okay. All right. The sense, okay. Though the person is also consciousness too, full of restrictions and limitations, desires, fears, doubts, selfishness, insecurities. These are the dis-eases that spring up around the sense of personhood, along with arrogance, ignorance, and pride. You are not this. You can see this, you can witness this, because that is what's real, The sense of the person is like the costume worn by the Absolute for time. I said that because it resonates in me. Remain one with the sense of being. Keep your attention here until it becomes effortless. The you can only become disturbed as a person. This is impossible for the you, your true self, to become disturbed. Pure intelligence of the self discerns to know this, yet remains untouched. You are not in a state of waiting. Simply don't combine yourself with anything, perceived or imagined. Neither interpret or project. Seeing and leaving aside even the sense I am. This reminds me of lesson 189. Throw everything away. Throw my interpretation of God, every idea of God, even throw this course away and come into the empty arms of the Father. Throw even my sense of the I am away. I am that awareness before thought. I am the awareness before thought. I'm looking at the clock and I want to personalize some of this. I'm going through some, I'm seeing the feelings. I'm seeing my skies, and I am, I can see the things that have been constants, but they're still my ideas, that I'm still encapsulated. I'm still, the ground is the ground, and where my feet are, and how many understandings did I go through to let them go? How many understandings did I need to purify self? And it was all necessary. And all the sufferings were necessary. And all the kicking and screaming and the let goes were all necessary, because it was we have the same map. We all got the same map, but we have different terrain. And this is the way the journey was set out for me. To find myself. First, I had to hear the screams of the pains that I was going through, that I was doing things wrong. I had the right compass, but I was using the wrong tools. I wanted out. I wanted out. But I didn't have these tools that we have here. The compass, even in my misery, still wanted out. Even in my drug addiction, still wanted out. My alcoholisms, still in my fixated points of view. The hardest thing I ever had to do, besides giving up drugs, was change my mind. That let go. To become open. To open to the grace. Yet another surrender. Yet another surrender. And now you have people coming up to you. I have one woman who's doing the 500 days with me, yet she's taken a break. And I have to give her that space. She wants to revisit the Old Testament. I said, okay, I'll do that with you. We'll revisit the Old Testament. She has went as far as her understanding will allow her to go. Now that happens to me many times. It's understandings that I have to let go of now. They're part of the problem. They're part of of what I have to give up. To reach that vastness, to be one with that space that this is from Mooji and a little bit of my version of it. And these let goes that they show up when they're supposed to. They show up when in the opposites, in the interrelated opposites. They show up in the Tao, in the Tao that's in the pendulum that's coming from a survival tool that I may have been holding on to. And it semi-works now. Semi-works because it's still part of the mind game. It's still part of an idea, the idea that I'm a child of God, the idea. These ideas that I let go of, they are all pointers, but they're ideas. They become ideas now. Now we're having a first-hand experience with the reality, with a realization of truth. You know, that space before thought. Can you feel it? Can you hear it? Beyond your tinnitus? The echoes of silence. Yes. The purity of the I am. That I am. I am that I am. So I am meeting with, you know, familiarity. You know, I'm battling familiarity with my 500-day student, and it's okay. You know, she loves Leo, and I don't know if you guys that haven't done the 500 days. It's wow. It's all part of the same stuff. It's just a deep dive. You know, we'd also do a deep dive on Wednesday afternoons, Wednesday evenings at A Lot to Say About Nothing, about the Gospel of Thomas. I should have brought that up in the announcements. We're having an hour show this week at 5:30 to 6:30. But, you know, seek thee first the kingdom of God. I know what it all means. You know, it's just, I know what's being said behind the words, in front of the words, you know, when you add to this truth, you subtract from it, you know, whatever's been given to you, you know, I mean, you know, why is there something rather than nothing? Boy, I can do a lot with the somethings. Billy can do a lot with the something. That default mechanism for the human. That shift does happen. It happens. And that's what time is for. That's the only thing that time is for. You know, you have all the time you need to know that it's to make that shift. You know, that shift that you know that this is all a dream, and I press the play button, and even my dreamer of this dream is in the dream, because I am that awareness before thought. Anyway, I think I went a minute over. I'm trying to be studious and conscious of that, so we can have fellowship. And I think we can play my next song, Marisol. Thank you, Cat Stevens. Well, Marisol put in the chat the if you feel like donating, the link is in the chat, and right now it's time to the sharing by all. Words are so hard to come by when you're in that state and you just want to enjoy it. You know, that all of nothingness, that state, that thought before, you know, that awareness before thought. You know, you can raise your hand, you know, or your electronic hand if you just want to speak.
Hello, thank you. Not turning on my video because I'm sitting here in my PJs. And as I typed on the board, what I had committed to with my family was that one thing I would do during this time frame was go take a shower. My intention was to, kind of listen as I took a shower. But the truth is I couldn't move. I sat here mostly with my eyes closed, letting Billy's words just wash over me. And as I wrote in the comments, I was riveted. I was literally held here. I couldn't move. Billy, I want to thank you. It was beautiful. It was deep, marvelous. Shall I go on? I think not. I think I'll let go. But I just want to say thank you, Billy. I wanted to let you know how it was for me.
Thank you, Regina.
Thank you, Bill, for what you're sharing. Actually, what I want to thank you for the song from Cat Stevens. It talks about the embrace, and I have no words to tell you. I love you. And actually, I love that song. It's really important to hear this after what you're saying, because sometimes we try to find technical how things works, but I feel also we are embraced by that love, and that love is looking to tell us how much it loves us, but also to discover how much we love what we cannot forget, the love from, I don't know, word, the universe, God, give it a word, but it is absolutely something what is reaching out to us, and we are reaching out to that. And so the peace and the rest finding in all the technical terms, and I have this for myself too, that I try to find in technical terms, but the song at the end was actually for me the ice on the cake. That really, that the embrace of love where we are in, and Joe just said also in the Old Testament there are internal arms under us. We cannot fall out of it, and the arms embrace us. And so this is what I want to share. Thank you for that song, Bill. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter.
Yeah, I think that's quite funny that Peter brought up Billy gave the wonderful homily, and I listened to everything, and the thing that's sticking out for me is the Cat Stevens song. I had that album. One of my older brothers left it at home when he was at college because I remember him saying he was sick of hearing it because his roommate played it all the time. So that was the stuff I listened to when I was a kid. And I hadn't thought of that song in years. And what I found beautiful about it was it implies that he was searching for this partner. And, in the song, it's a woman. But Cat Stevens was still is a very spiritual guy, and I think it spoke to what he was really searching for, and it's the reason that we're all here. This calling for something that's deeper than what we see in our daily existence, and we find the daily existence wanting. So we're looking for that partner that embraces us unconditionally and on a much deeper level. I just wanted to share that because that, like I said, that's what stuck out for me. And thank you for today.
Thank you, John. I'm a vibrational speaker. I speak it's my vibration that's why there's not much to say. and I get it. I totally get it. And to hear Cat Stevens put words to it, it was great. And in a layer removed, but you know, we're searching for love, we're searching for truth. You know, it's all the same stuff. You know, it's you know, we want to go home. You know, we're on our way home. We're clapping our ruby slippers, you know, and that is the intent, you know, and that happens every moment that we have a chance, that we have a chance not to forget. We can always remember, but it's not to forget. You have to remember, that's okay. It's part of the journey too, but not to forget. Anyway, we got about a minute to go. Anybody have a short one? Well, I'm going to turn it over to Marisol. We have a fellowship after the meeting, and I don't know who's doing it, but I'll be there.
You've been watching our online gathering. It happens weekly on Sundays at 10:15 a.m. Eastern Time. To join us live in the sanctuary, visit our website, awakening-together.org. You'll want to click on Online Sanctuary in the main menu, and then in the drop-down menu, look for How to Enter the Sanctuary. Right there at the top of the page is a clickable link. We'd love to see you in the sanctuary and join with you in fellowship. Thank you again for watching. Also, please know that if you'd like to stay connected via the Awakening Together channel here on YouTube, you can subscribe and hit the bell for more notifications. We hope to see you in the sanctuary.